Hi everyone, so happy Valentine's Day. I am going to show you how to make the resin board and we will get started with that. So you have your board. Mine looks slightly different than yours. I have just like a wood round that I'm going to use. You are going to set that on top of the container that you were given. Again, mine looks a little bit different than yours. Yours should be like a white rectangle. You're going to set your board on top of that so that it's elevated off of that. It is also going to be inside of the silver tray that you were given, and that silver tray is simply just to collect the resin so it doesn't make a mess. I'm using aluminum foil. You have the tray, so it's just a really easy cleanup for you. So with that, so you're gonna have it look like this. It's going to be raised on top of the container that's upside down, and your board is going to be right on top. Then you have your resin. So you should have something that says hardener on it, and you also have something that says resin on it. You are going to take both of those things and you are going to mix them into the big solo cup that you were given. So you are just going to dump both of those containers into the resin cup, into the solo cup, and you're going to mix them with one of your popsicle stick stirrers. Okay. When you are using the resin, please make sure that you are wearing gloves. It is not great for your skin, so you want to make sure that you are handling it with gloves. Gloves are on. I have my resin and I'm going to stir them both up. You want to make sure you get as much out of the container as you can. You want to use up as much as you can. And you want to try to make sure that you have equal amounts out of the containers. You want an equal parts of both. Okay. All right, so once you have them both in there, you're just gonna stir it up. And you wanna stir pretty gently. Don't, go crazy with it, like whip it like you're making whipped cream. You just wanna stir it so that both mixtures come together, but you don't want it to bubble up too much. Okay, so you're just stirring it. All right. From there, once it's all stirred, you want to stir for about, like a minute or so to make sure everything is pretty even. You'll notice it's starting to it's not so clear anymore. It's got like a little white color to it. Okay, I'm gonna stir for about a minute. Once it is stirred for about a minute, then you are going to use those smaller cups that you were given. So the little like condiment size cups, those cups will be used to come up with the colors for your resin board. So the colors that you chose, you're gonna use the resin and the paint to dye it so that it comes up with those pretty colors that end up on the resin board. Okay? I advise you to use a different colored popsicle stick or a different popsicle stick for each color that you use. Don't use the same one just so that the colors don't mix. And you don't really need a ton of paint. You have those like little palettes. You really only need a little tiny bit. Okay. I want my base to be white. So I'm actually, whatever your base color is going to be, that's the one that you want the most resin to be in. So I'm going to use a pretty decent amount in here for that. And I'm going to save my other resin for my other colors. So again, you only need like a drop of paint to dye the resin color. Okay, so I'm just using my paint container. You'll notice I'm only using like a little bit of a drop to dye the resin a color. Okay, so I'm gonna put that paint in there. I'm gonna start to stir, and you'll see it's already almost white. Okay, I wanna make it like a little bit darker, so I'm gonna add another drop of paint. Okay. Again, don't dump the paint in. Just add it drop by drop. So I advise just sticking the popsicle stick into the paint container and just like a slight drop in there and stir it up. Okay, and from there you are just going to dump from the edges in to how far you want to go. Okay. You don't want it to be super, super thick. Okay. And you don't want to go the whole length of your resin board. Okay. You're just going to put that on there. You don't need a ton. Okay. With the remaining resin, so that's for your base there. With the remaining resin that you have left over, you're gonna use the colors, and that's gonna create that marble look. If you're creating more of like a wave look, you want to slowly incorporate those colors, and then you're gonna use a blow dryer to blow it around. So my base is white. I'm gonna do a marble like pink color. Okay. Adding a drop of pink to my remaining resin. Stir it up a little bit. Okay. And I'm just going to take my pink and just go over my base to give it that marble look. And again, it's okay if you go over the edges. You actually have a sponge brush in there to kind of dab off the edges of the bottom of it. But the aluminum foil is there for dripping, so it will collect any of the resin that drips. Okay. So I'm just giving it that marble look. Okay, with the whites, you're gonna need to use a little bit more paint than, say, your other colors. Okay. If you like the clear look too, you actually can do a lighter color white, and you can mess around with the paint itself to get the shade that you want. So you have whites, you have blacks. You can use that to mix to be a shade that you want. Okay. My round is a little bit thicker than your charcuterie boards that you have. So I am actually spreading this around on the sides so that it covers it up. Yours will probably drip and cover it up. Okay, yours you won't need to like rub the sides of it like I'm doing right now. Okay. One thing to say about resin is that if you are using this for a cheese tray and you are serving, you don't want your resin to go like so far down to the cheese tray that you can't put food on it. This is, you know, a chemical, and when it dries hard, but you still don't want to put food directly on it. So you want to make sure it's just coming down far enough that like you have enough room to actually like lay things out on. This is just kind of like for a decorative piece here. Okay. Once you have that, you're just going to take your brush and you're just going to go along the bottom where it's dripping. And you know, every hour or so that this is drying, just rub your brush along the bottom so that you don't have like icicles hanging off the bottom of it. Again, don't handle resin without gloves. Make sure you are wearing gloves for any step of this process. Okay. Once you have your resin on there, which I'm going to spin around and show you in just a second. You are going to take a lighter, okay? And you are just going to take the lighter just above it, and if there are any bubbles, it will help to pop them. So you want to be like an inch away from it with the lighter, and the lighter will help to pop them. I guess this is out. Of course. Of course. All right. So this will get rid of any bubbles that you have. Again, you stirred the resin gently, so it shouldn't create too many bubbles, but there are like little tiny ones, and if you are standing on the side of it, you can see like small bubbles. And the heat pops them. Okay. All right, and you want to give this, you know, a few hours to dry, definitely a full 24 hours if you can keep it sitting there for 24 hours. You'll notice that after like about 3, it'll start to harden up. And you will end up with a board like this. If you want kind of like the wave look, you are going to layer the colors on along the sides, and you're just going to take a blow dryer and just blow it until you get the look that you want. I like the marbleized look. That's one that I made with like blue, black, and white. If you want the wave look, you're just going to take a blow dryer and blow the colors. You're just going to kind of like layer the colors on with the resin. Okay? For beginners with this project, I would definitely recommend doing the marble look. Looks really cool. It dries really nicely. Again, when you are putting food on this, you want to put the food on the wood spot, not on the resin piece. Try to keep food away from there as much as possible. But otherwise, enjoy your cheese tray. Happy Valentine's Day. If you have any questions, please email rusticrisandcalligraphy@gmail.com, and I will be happy to answer those questions for you. Or you can text the number that is on my website, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks, guys, for ordering. Bye.